So for our open mic night, we're going to have poets reading their own poems. And I wanted to go over a few logistics before we introduce the first poet. Everyone who's not the current reader, please make sure that you stay on mute so that we don't interrupt our readers. When you signed up for the program, you indicated if you wanted to read. So everyone who responded yes is already on the schedule. If you responded with maybe, we will ask if you'd like to read after all of our yeses have read. And I can go ahead and share the list with you so that you can see who we have. So we have 7 people who officially definitely want to read, and we have 6 people who maybe want to read. So I'll let you get a look at that order for a minute there. Please keep your reading to no more than 3 to 4 minutes so that everyone who wants to read has their chance. At the end, if we have extra time, we'll open the floor to see if anyone has decided they really want to read also. I'll go ahead and introduce each reader when it is their turn. And I do apologize in advance if I mispronounce anyone's name. So I'll go ahead and stop sharing. And we will invite our first reader to take the stage. So our first reader is Lea Morita.
My name is Lea, and my poem is called The Road Already Taken, based upon Robert Frost's The Road Not Taken. One road with a mouse on it, a black cat stalked, and I took the road that was already taken. We 2 travelers short, I walked, looked up to a cloud, I talked, but the cloud looked unshaken. Then I realized I'd taken this road too far and that I was lost. I didn't even have a car. It being creepier as unfamiliar worlds are, I'd pay for a car, whatever the cost. The one that night unequally lay on leaves, one leaf had stood white. I couldn't wait to see the light of day. Shadows crept up on me in the middle of May. A mushroom exploded like dynamite. When finally I got out of the wood, I realized I should have taken the one not taken. Looking blankly back like an idiot, I stood. I should have made a difference if I could. Oh well, I shrugged, not very shaken.
All right, thank you so much. Next up, we have, sitting on the same screen, Lexi Marina.
Okay. Hi, my name is Lexi, and today I'm going to read a poem that I wrote. It's really long, and it's not very creatively titled. It's called The Hunger Games, Book 1. It's based on my favorite series. So, the day of the dreaded reaping, her mother and Prim are still sleeping. Katniss rises out of bed. She meets Gale. He shot a loaf of bread. They mimic the Capitol, something they shouldn't be doing at all. They meet Madge. She never looks a mess. Seeing her in a pretty dress, going to the reaping. Oh dear, who would the tributes be this year? Everybody holds their breath. 2 children sentenced to their death. The girl's name, Primrose Everdeen. Her face is projected on the screen. Katniss volunteers instead. If it wasn't for her, Prim would be dead. To the Capitol on a train, driving on a track, not a lane. They finally made it. Yay, hooray, start training another day. Next day, training begins. People start betting on who will win. Girl on fire interviews. Citizens sit and watch the news. 60 seconds on a pedestal, staring at the cornucopia wall. Katniss only grabs a backpack, a knife, and someone else's back. Peter runs straight for the woods. Haymitch told him that he should. Katniss needs to find water that's drinkable. What would happen if she didn't is unthinkable. She almost dies of thirst. Finds water, that's a first. Sees a monstrous boy from District 2. Instead of him, she chooses Rue. Together, they trick the careers, but she damages her left ear. Then all of a sudden, the death of Rue. Rue is dead and Marvel too. Now there is a rule change, huh? That is really strange. Two tributes can't survive. The games are still being broadcast live. Katniss and Peeta work together, surviving the worst of weather, inviting them to a feast. The cornucopia stands like a beast. Cunning girl from District 5, she seems to be alive. Clove from 2 is dead. Thresh connected a rock to her head. Thresh thinks she killed Rue. Marvel did, but he's dead too. After all, she was innocent, killed by the career's base tent. She endured a slow and painful death. Cato was beside her when she took her last breath. Thresh takes both backpacks, as Katniss can see. He took the thing Cato needs desperately. Cato chases Thresh and kills him. Now Thresh can never win. Foxface eats berries at Nightwalk. Peeta kills her when he goes for a walk. The number of tributes is now 3. The victor could be anyone. See, tributes running away from mutations. Or mutations. Cato catches Peeta, causing great aggravation. Now they are at a stalemate. Now all Peeta can do is wait. Cato falls to the dogs. They are on him like a bunch of hogs. And Katniss wants Cato's suffering to end. Now she's almost like a friend. Penny makes Katniss kill him. Her face looks very grim. The earlier rule change was a fake. They pick Nightlock berries by the lake, about half an inch the berries width. Stop, stop, cries Claudius Templesmith. Going back to District 12, back into their normal lives. They will delve. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. All right, so number 3 on our list is Mike Panasidi.
All right, thank you. All right, this is called A Quartet of Close Calls, and this was written a while ago. First close call. A self-satisfied adolescent, I breathed the frigid air of the Andes Mountains. Sometime later, as a despairing young adult, I inhaled warm carbon monoxide in my mother's orderly garage. And had it not been for the fortuitous curiosity of my sweet sister, I'd currently find myself abiding in a cadaver's close-quartered storage bin. Close call 2. Despite abounding indications to do differently, the drawling Duke and I decided to take what we thought would be a casual dip in an agitated Pacific. We struggled again and again, never giving up against the red flag tide, and thereby barely survived the incessant commotion of a ravenous ocean. Third close call. After relieving myself on my father's bed, I spent a sleepless night in the ghetto, high on MDMA. In the ensuing grandiosity, I drove my brother-in-law's sedan a haphazard path toward my pregnant sister's house, intent on making some money. But fortunately, there was a formidable crash. The car traversed the boulevard during the protracted collision, uprooting 3 trees in slow succession. The wreck foiled my plans to live the life of a panderer. Luckily, I wasn't left with a limp. Close call number 4. Determined with delusion, I wandered on a well-trafficked highway, planning a plunge off a pier. Then, without a modicum of fear, I hailed a passing cab. The driver was a chatty immigrant, fluent perhaps in Arabic. After protruding from a window, littering the thoroughfare with a tissue box, and losing a just-due shoe, I exited the moving taxi, rolling onto the gently accepting asphalt, possibly garnering more than one stare, and walked away from it all without paying a penny of the fare.
All right, thank you so much. Next up, we have Jonathan Santamaria.
Hey guys, my name is John. This is from my recently published book. It's my first poetry book, but it's called The Hellacious Sounds Inside. Hope you guys enjoy. So, my tombstone's etched. These feelings of death plague my mind. Familiar waves crashing. I want to die, I cry. Why am I alone? The voices of 3, one is me. The voice of two is ever haunting. My senses riddled by this phenomenon. I taste it, I wear it, I smell the stench of murder in the air. The onslaught of whispers my world in despair. Shh, quiet now. Their lies grow bold. The sound of my blood curdling, growing louder, I'm cold. Shackled to their hate, I know that I'm observed. All my life this fight alone, disturbed. I see the mist growing, taking shape in the air. Mystic shadows, I blink and blink. The time has come, I have nowhere to run. My white walls of cheap plaster, a ceiling patched away, haunting precision, their mission, they're wanting to stay. He whispers once, let me in. He whispers twice, and it begins. The daunting voice, it crackles, it chatters, it whispers abound. Do as I say, as the voice of two comes slithering around. Turn off the light so I may see, demands his voice, showing his greed. Frail and muted and frozen, the voice of two exposes his devious plan. Now feed my hunger, I want you to bleed. Sweating and wrench, I cannot speak. Sickening and shivering, it just won't leave. I finally whimper, please stop, leave me alone. My breath caught, I respond in splintering groans. Their laughter ignites, I start to break down. Moving fast, a caged animal so desperate for hope. Please someone help. I'm chilled to the bone. Yet I always return to this place of evil I know. I grab a knife to please his need. The voice says no. I hear his glee. That's too simple for me. He craves much more than death. He requires my pain. I can feel something more sinister is headed my way. The voice says, boy, the time has come. A trick, let me show you. Are you ready, my son? I gasp to the window. I flee friends for a last ray of hope. I look to the ground where I know I would go. The voice now quiet. What is he gone? My head spinning. I plead to be left alone. Oh, this agony everlasting like hell's continual song. Then my fragile arm starts to bleed. My body rising off the floor. Stop, I yell, but I continue to float. Blackness forms to my left. His voice murmuring as a heartbeat. I think, is this him? At his best? Now he takes shape, a creature of the night. I watch his slithering tongue move from left to right. Our eyes meet. His are red like wine. With his charcoal black skin, ripened putrid, puzzles of pus divine. Burned his layers of skin. A serpent, this thing, more than human does exist. Now he stares, he glares, his powers grow. Alone as I continue to float. Tell me, boy, are you afraid? The smells of brimstone as sulfur as I engage. Yes, I'm terrified, but do as you will. Alone, I'm alone, and yet stand still. Do you really want me to leave you alone? Do you want to live in this world that is so cold? Alone every night, who is by your side? I know only these voices I hear every day and night. Let me join you, come, invite me in. Let me show you a world of death, let's begin. You must speak these words to me. Enter my body. His name I must hide, but alone, still alone. I have no friends. My only companions are these intruders that are nestled inside. I'm so weak, my resolution dissolving, entranced in the air, faltering, obeying his call. The stench now of cigarettes enters my nose, dazed and confused, me breathing a creature into this world. Do I say yes? Do I say no? Why, oh why in this world that is so cold? The demon says, now say the words at once. But I can't speak a word or breath. The decision I make, will I be free? The demon shakes with anger. Oh boy, you will bleed. But why do you need someone like me? Why are you mad if I say no? No. What do I have that makes you so bold? I look at his body, now fading away. The demon yells, no, I want to stay. Away he dissipates as I fall to the floor, safe for now, until it comes once more.
Okay, thank you so much. So the next person on our list is Cindy Rin.
Hi, so my first poem I actually call a visual poem. So I've done drawings with it. I thought Lexi and Lea might like this aspect. You can draw too. Garden walk with chairmaker's wife. Zebra shawl covers her I'm gonna start again. Zebra shawl covers her clay mind. Cat gently brushes shin. Carmen draws near to text on the chair he made. Glides her hand along the arm where his rested. Thinks about the meaning of chair. Down the path, she ties red ribbons on sage plants. Hosts the spiral snake at the cyanotype edge of stacked stones. Waterfall splashes a pendulum of snowmelt. Earthworm respects the water source. Silken cherry blossoms fall like lace. Kuan Yin undergirds the crow's wisdom song. Listen to the message inside your skin. Your body is sound. Interconnect with all life. Carmen hears the goddess ring the gong. Vibrations lull baby shells in abalone cocoon. Bleached claws reach for the children. Pink crystal web protects in woven shadows. Wind reshapes holes across brittle bush. Beneath sun's rays of sequins, a leaf evolves on a willow where the Bennu bird resides. Carmen breathes through the loneliness. 5 quick out breaths, 1 long, until lungs are empty. She gathers lemon balm, lavender, and mint, kneels at the pearl altar, yellow candle lit, places herbs and an egg at the roots. Carmen desires to touch the sawdust of his hands. The next one is soundscapes. Apollo snakes hiss in Cassandra's ears. Will prophecies no one later will believe. Chaos in my body listens for secrets of the dark. I cup my ears, echoes map the landscape, red rock pinnacles, temple pillars, goose honks wisdom at sunset. Witches chant, gather herbs to heal, ginger, calendula, fennel. Plants grow from my legs. I paint their presence with my song. Vocal memories of my lineage whisper what was and returning. I massage my earlobes. Wellness calls me. And my last one is actually a found poem, collaged and drawn, that is for my lineage, and it's called Peace for the Ukraine. Humans have tried to understand the nature of the poppy. Poppy residue has been found on clay pottery in Neolithic settlements. She were a seed ground to a fine powder, a ritual bread. Perhaps the poppy itself is a type of door, the power to change life itself. Cradled in the arms, woven crowns on the head, poppies on others' graves. The poppy lives at the threshold, clearly blue, life and death touched. Power to move between the lands of the living and the dead, then christened the stone of immortality. Poppies contain a mystery, relief of pain, trigger our receptors as it crashes them, feeling the euphoria our bodies have ever found, a deeper intelligence within nature, dormant for up to 100 years, defies our desire to contain it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, so it looks like the next person on our list is not here unless I'm not seeing Jude Henderson. So we'll go ahead and move on to Wendy Van Camp.
Well, I guess I'm up, huh? Well, I was originally going to read an unpublished poem, but since we're recording today, I think I will forgo that. You'll have to forgive me. Anyway, my name is Wendy Van Camp. I'm the poet and illustrator of The Planets, which you see behind me. It has been nominated for the Elgin Award for Best Speculative Poem of the Year twice. And I guess we'll just leave it at that. I'm a resident of Orange County, and frankly, I'd like to support reading venues in our area. So that's why I thought I'd come today. The first set of poems I'm going to read are what I call sci-fi coup, which is science fiction themed haiku. They go real fast, so I'm going to add a couple of poems after this. This particular set is based off of the science of faster than light travel. Inside warp bubble, relativistic effects never will apply. Warp speed is a joke. Stretch the fabric of space-time. Who is laughing now? As space contracts ahead, we travel without moving, no time dilation. And the last one of this set is exoplanets beckon. Albuquerque's equations allow visitation. And that is that. I'm rather known for my sci-fi coup, so I wanted to bring just a little bit here. The next poem I call He Is Your Brother. It was inspired, believe it or not, by an ABBA song, but it also brings in Star Wars too. Let me know what you think. I do not wear chains, but I am a slave. Born in factory, fathered by science, trained to be a fighter in human wars. I am declared the ultimate soldier. My sergeant says, look right, then to the left. Each face is an exact copy of my own. We are the same height, same build, the same soul. Treat him well, for he is your brother. As my brothers die around me, I wonder if this is all there is. I do my duty fighting in another war. We move in formation under the hot sun. Do I stand with my brothers and fight, or do I fight alone for our freedom? And that's the end of that one, again called He Is Your Brother. And my final poem for the day is going to be one I call Cassandra. I noticed we had a Cassandra poem earlier, but this is my take. This one was published back in 2018. In the morning, your ship will be sailing, prepared by your father to whisk you safe. Watch the Silicon City understanding as the people flee the enemy in haste. Now that the last bloody day is dawning, you suffer your secrets within your heart, for none would listen to words of warning. Oh, Cassandra, it is time to depart. Into the fair skies you rocket up, away from the death you have foreseen. In orbit, solar sails prepare to cup waves of photon energy by machine. Sorry, Cassandra, we did not believe. We only saw it as dreams you would weave. And that will be all. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you very much for reading. So those are all of the people who signed up to read ahead of time. So now we have our list of people who said maybe they want to read. And the first on that list is Ursula Garcia.
Hello. Good afternoon, everybody. So yeah, I think I will read something. I had to look through everything because I realized I don't have a lot of poems. So I'm going to be reading a poem I wrote for my parents' 25th anniversary. So it's a little long, so bear with me. But in any case, it's essentially just called A Midnight Love Letter to its Silver Anniversary. So today equals 25 years, silver anniversary. I'll admit though, it got me thinking of another kind of silver, the silver screen. Got me thinking of how the silver screen and love are forever linked. Got me thinking of the endless number of romance movies. I've never been partial to romance movies. Not really. With their sweeping music, over-the-top antics, and interchangeable characters and confessions. It's why they're movies, I guess. Fun to watch, but I've seen what it looks like to live with love. God, what love looks like with people that live it is just illuminating, heartbreaking, inspiring, frightening, breathtaking. It makes my breath catch, my throat hurt, my eyes burn. Just seeing what true love can look like. And you too have shown me what true love looks like. You don't know how often I look over at the two of you as you sleep, halfway through whatever episode we're watching for the night, and feel my heart just ache at seeing how you fit together. Not two halves of a whole, but two hearts that came together and told each other, I'm ready for forever, and I've decided forever is you. I see what forever means because of you two. It's not a scene in a movie, screen fading to black. It's waking up every day to the same face and knowing it's going to be a beautiful day because you woke up to that face. It's getting a thrill at seeing them walk through the door because once again, they're walking into your life. And they have a way of making life seem brighter somehow. It's finding laughter at the most random moments, in the hardest moments, in the darkest moments. It's kisses, hugs, and declarations of love because of the smallest thing or for no reason at all. Sometimes it's just for being there, breathing, existing. How incredible is that? Loving someone so much that them just existing is a gift. It's having someone there to help you get out of bed when your body is too full of aches and pains to even sit up, or when life isn't fair and decides to just hit you right where it hurts. It's having someone who is your best friend, your lover, your family, all wrapped in one. It's opening yourself up to such an unfathomable degree, bearing yourself and trusting that even if you fall apart because you hurt in ways that you shouldn't, in ways you don't deserve, that they won't just hold you, but they'll somehow find a way to suffer alongside you while being your strength. It's having someone become your cielito, your sky, your endless, endearing, ever present, forever. That's not all I've seen of love, though. On a less poetic scale, it's screaming together at the TV when football players just aren't playing right. Carajo. Dancing to a bolero, making a dirty joke that'll make ribs hurt from all the laughing. Pointed comments that are answered with exasperated head shakes. Bueno, si yo no lo hago, ¿quién lo va a hacer? Play fights that make us look like Bruce Lee movie redirects. Going to Denny's just to stuff our faces with desserts. And yes, knocking out on the couch halfway through an episode or movie. Bodies connected, if not pressed together. Followed by waking up and undoubtedly asking me how it all ended. It all ends the same way, every day. And every day, I take a moment, each night, to watch something better than a movie. Because how can a movie compare to what I've seen every day? Los quiero tanto, Ursula. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Okay, so on our list, it looks like the next person who is a maybe is Bernardine Cortina.
Hello, everyone. Such a pleasure to hear all your words today. I'll read one as well. So just for some context, this poem was inspired by a prompt from Rio de Mi Vida Writers Group, an amazing group of writers in Santana, asking us write to an ancestor about the questions you have for them. And out of that came this poem to a present day ancestor, my mom, shaped by the silences and the haunting of our shared migration story. As we immigrated together, she when she was 51, me when I was 16, from the Philippines to the United States. And I've called it Love Letter Unsent, to Mary Bernadette. Nanay, you only ever tell me mahal na mahal ka sa akin, meaning you are deeply loved, beloved to me. When I ask you why you gave up your life in the Philippines and brought us from Manila to the United States, when I ask you why you work 2 jobs, when I ask you why you bear the silence and the loneliness sitting alone at the dining room table, only ever calling friends from overseas because you are lonely, invisible, and ridiculed here, when I ask you how you can bear it, these years of solitude, sitting with the ghosts of your womanhood, the ghosts of your motherhood, when I ask you if the sacrifice was worth it, if I was worth it, you say, mahal na mahal ka sa akin. When I beg you, implore you, plead with you, screaming, paano ka? Paano ka pa? But what about you? You say, mahal na mahal ka sa akin. Gusto kong ibigay sa iyo ang buhay na hindi ko naranasan. I want to give you the life I never had, Ma. You speak in riddles. Ma, you speak in tongues. Maybe sacrifice is your mother tongue, a mother's tongue, and I do not know it. Nay, when I was born, you gave me the name Bernardine, saying you had been called Bernapatay, Bernadette, by your classmates. You, Bernadette, were marked by death in your name. You said, so you freed me from it. Bernardine, you called me, you continued to free me from it, gave me life, and then continued to give me every possibility of life. Freedom from the bitterness and the hauntings of your childhood, freedom from your experiences of poverty, freedom from the limitations of a life in the third world, you say. Ma, bakit? Why all this for me? Mahal na mahal ka sa akin. You always say back, Nay, you are my present, you are my ancestor present. You are here with me still, and I cannot reach you. I don't know how to. I ache because I do not understand you. I ache because I'm terrified that maybe I do. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. So that is the end of people who have signed up to read. Is there anyone who didn't sign up that would like to take the chance and go ahead and read something for us? All right, if we have no takers on that, is there anyone who has read that would like to read another poem? Well, okay then. So that is, as I mentioned, our 3rd event in the Poetry Speaks reading series. And thank you so much to all of our readers tonight. We've definitely heard some great poems. And I just want to really encourage you all to keep writing and to keep putting yourselves out there. There is definitely a poetry scene not only around Orange County, but also around Southern California in general. So keep writing and keep putting yourself out there. And again, we hope that you all can join us next week for the last event in our Poetry Speaks reading series. That'll be with OC Poet Laureate Natalie Graham and Honorable Mention Gustavo Hernandez. So thank you everyone for being here, and I hope you have a wonderful night.
Thank you for having us. Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Good job, everybody.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Good job.
Bye.
Good job, everybody.